Nation. This is your fearless leader, Gamer Plus, and today we are back with Mountain Blade Warband. Now, the thing is we're gonna start a completely new character. Not because of any sort of lack of vision on my part for that particular character, for Alduin Shieldman. Simply because when my power went out a few days ago, well, it sort of killed all the footage I had. I had about 4.5 hours of footage. That was at least the next 3, 4, 5 videos that I was gonna do. I had this really epic siege that I did, and I'm like, this is amazing. This translates just completely beautiful to video. Alright, I even did a few other things, like take on huge armies, like 3-4 times my size, and come out on top, and I'm like, nice. But then the storm hit in the middle of recording, completely ruined that save file. And if we were to start in that same save file again, like, you would see like just a massive amount of progress that I couldn't really account for. And I just think doing like an over narration of it would have been kind of terrible. So we started a new character, completely new, fresh, completely vanilla, none of the expansion stuff. So no Black Knights. This new character's name is Marcus Black. He's a veteran warrior, just like Alduin, and he's come to Calradia through way of Swadia, just as Alduin has, and he's looking to make a name for himself in these disputed lands. Simple as that. Now, as we remember, meeting the merchant of Provin,
now let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven by banditry, by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye on the streets. But I'm not so sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed, helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house, out alone, after dark in these times, in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with the blade. And more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Colradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair. Teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? Now, Marcus Black does have experience with a blade. Now, his story sort of stems from, if you've ever read sort of the Sharp series, which I completely recommend, or also if you've seen the show, the BBC did a show on it, stars Sean Bean, really great show. He was born in a whorehouse, just knows how to fight, joined the army. Well, we're gonna say the same for Marcus, but instead of joining an army, he decided to go out and just seize his fortune, to start his own company. And, like the popular series of books, we'll call it The Black Company. Now, I am interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you tried to take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work that's more interesting than tilling soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So, take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good, sir. I'll go and collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Proven. After you've got your group together, then we'll speak about what to do next. Let's go ahead and... where is he? There he is. Talk to the merchant. Splendid work. You have hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Proven have told us that there is a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair. Very well, we shall hunt down the bandits. Alright. What do you want? I've been looking for you. Tell me where you keep your prisoners and I'll let you go.
Ha! Those prisoners are only going free if you pay their ransom. Did you bring any silver?
No, but I brought steel. Nice. See, they've got the power of the hill now. Made it hard for us to get to them. Aye, spare me. Spare my life, let me go. And I'll go far away from here. And learn an honest trade you'll never hear of me again. I'll spare your life. But in exchange, I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him, and give your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts, and you can go free. Oh, bless you, sir. Bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in our hideout near Elberl. I'll describe the area in detail. There's no mistake. But we'll only get worse. Alright. Let's go. Let's go. Got him. He's down. I'll go ahead. Oh. Alright, charge, boys. I'll cover you. Alright. Alright. Let's go. Militia. Got it. I don't think he hit me. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you for rescuing me from those fiends. Did my brother and Pravin put you onto their track? Yes. I told him that I would find you. I advise that you return to your family quickly as you can, and be careful on the road. Troubadour, merchant. Aha! Well, my brother is home safe. I'm not sure what to do with him. Maybe pack him off to a university outside Colradia. That way, if he gets knocked on the head in a street brawl, no one can say it's my fault. But that's not your problem. Here's the rest of your reward. It was well earned. The money is most welcome, and I am glad to have been of service. Good. Now, I ain't interested in making some more. All right. Possibly. What do you need? Remember how I told you that the bandits had an ally inside the walls? I think I know who it is. The captain of the watch, no less. Some months ago, this captain, seeing the amount of profit we merchants were making from trade across the frontiers, decided to borrow some money to sponsor a caravan. Unfortunately, like many who are new to the commerce, he failed to realize that great profit only comes with great risk. So he sank all his money into the most expensive commodities. Of course, his caravan was captured and looted, and he lost everything. As a consequence, it seems our captain turned to villainy to recoup his fortune. I suppose I'd do the same if the heavens forbid I ever faced indebtedness and ruination. Now, anyway, the captain, worth his salary, will have a few thieves and robbers on the payroll to inform on the rest. But our captain decides to employ these bastards wholesale. He brings them into town, lets them do as they will, and takes a share of their take. You've heard of poachers turning gamekeepers. Well, in the unfortunate land of Colorado, sometimes gamekeepers will turn poacher. Luckily, there's still a few brave, honest souls in the watch who've told me how he works. Now, here's my plan. I could bring this to the attention of King Harless, Lord of the city, but that would mean an inquiry. My word against the captains, witnesses can be bought, evidence destroyed, or maybe even the whole thing will be forgotten if the enemy comes across the border again. And all I'll get for my trouble is a knife in the ribs. In time of war, you see, a king's eye wanders far from his domain and his subjects suffer. So, I've got another idea. I've got a small group of townsfolk together, some men in my employ, and some others who've lost relatives to these bandits, and we'll storm the captain's home, bring him in chains before King Harless, hopefully with a few captured bandits to explain how things stack up. All I need now is someone to lead my little army into battle, and I can't think of anyone better than you. So, what do you say?
How do I know that you're telling the truth?
Oh, well, I suppose it's possible I found a dozen bandits who are willing to give their lives to give a passing stranger a false impression of life in Old Providence. Well, I guess you can't really know if my word is good, but I reckon you've learned by now my money is good, and there's another 100 dinars, or maybe a bit more. That's waiting for you if you'll do me this last little favor. So what do you say?
Now, we can take the money, we can fight this guy, or we can just say, I'm sorry, it's too much, too fast, I need to think, and then we'll have to come back and do it again. Besides, Marcus isn't the type to turn down a fight anyway. So,
alright, I'll lead your men. Splendid. It's been a long time since I staked so much on a single throw of the dice, and frankly, I find it exhilarating. My men are ready to move on your word. Are you ready?
yes, give them the sign.
Good. Now, strike hard, strike fast, and the captain and his henchmen won't know what hit them. May the heavens be with you.
You leave the tavern and go out to the streets. Nervous-looking young men are waiting every street corner. You can see they have daggers and clubs concealed under their clothes, and catch a mixture of fear, anticipation, and pride in the quick looks they throw at you as you pass by, praying that your enemies have not been alarmed by this all too obvious bunch of plotters. You check your weapons for one last time and prepare yourself for the action ahead. We shall continue.
It's time, lads. Up and at 'em.
Oh, bandits. Shit. Alright, who's in the way? I hear more fighting this way. Let's go. I really wish you guys would run better. These must be my... Oh, these must be footmen from... Oh. Got it. Come on. Alright. The remaining few bandits scatter off to the town's narrow alleys, only to be hunted down one by one by the angry townsfolk. Making sure that your victory is complete and all the wounded have been taken care of, you and the merchant head to the house to review the day's events. Nice. 200 dinars. Alright, look at that. Well done. I hear you accounted for one or two of the bastards and you're still on your feet. You can't ask for a better outcome of the battle than that. Unfortunately, about 8 of my lads got themselves wounded. I should go look in on them. Now, how are we going to approach this? Calm and honorable. I'm glad to see that you're alive too. The heavens alone grant us victory. Go very spiritual. Or, oh well, I'm proud to have done my bit with the rest. Let's we've made a bond with the merchant, so let's hit this up. I'm glad to see that you're alive too. Yes, yes. Now, a couple of my boys have the watch captain pinned down in the back room with a knife to his throat. I'll need to go drag him before King Harless and explain what this breach of peace is all about. You don't have to be part of that, though. I'll tell you what. If all goes well, I'll meet you in the tavern again shortly and let you know how it all came out. If you don't see me in the tavern, but instead see my head on a pike over the city gate, I'll assume you know enough to stay out of town for a while and forget this whole episode ever happened. So, hopefully we meet again. Nice. Alright, let's go to the tavern. And there he is. And I kicked him. Gotta stop doing that. Ah, Marcus Black. Things didn't quite go so well as I had hoped. King Harless couldn't quite find it in him to overlook my little breach of the peace. Oh, he's grateful enough that I got rid of a crooked captain. A guard who'll let in bandits will let in an enemy army if the price is right. But he can't exactly have me running around here as the last reminder of his failure to take care of things himself. That hardly seems fair. Fair? This is called Radia, my boy. Kings do what they will, and the rest of us do as they must. He didn't string me up and instead gave me time to sell my properties. Even put in a good word with the other merchants that they best pay me a fair price too. That's gracious enough, as kings go. But he's a weak king, as they all are here. And weak kings always look to their authority first and justice second. I suppose I'd do the same in his shoes. Anyway, I wouldn't go rubbing your part of the affair in King Harless's face, but he's taken note of you and decided that you're not worth hanging. And that's something to which I'll raise a glass any day of the week. He might even have work for you further down the road. Or you can sell your sword to one of his competitors. Anyway, I hope you've learned a bit about what it will take to stay alive in this troubled land. And I suspect that the money you've earned won't go to waste. Good luck.